Simo Heiha, the White Death. In the frozen forests of Finland, during the Winter War of 1939, one quiet farmer became the most feared marksman in modern history. His name was Simo Heiha. When the Soviet Union invaded, he left his home near the Russian border and joined the Finnish militia, just 5'3", calm, polite, and terrifyingly accurate. Armed with a simple bolt-action rifle without a scope so reflections wouldn't give him away, he concealed himself beneath snowdrifts, packing snow before his muzzle to hide its blast. In temperatures that froze breath solid, he moved with the silence of the landscape itself. Over just 100 days, he eliminated more than 500 Soviet soldiers, often at ranges where wind and frost made a single shot nearly impossible. His record remains unmatched. The Soviets called him Belaya Smrt, the White Death, and sent counter-snipers, artillery, even airstrikes to stop him. None worked until a bullet from an enemy rifle struck his face in March 1940. He survived in a coma for a week, waking up the day peace was declared, half his jaw gone, but his legend intact. After the war, Simo returned to farming, refusing fame or fortune. He never bragged, never glorified killing. When asked how he became so deadly, he simply said, "Practice." His legacy endures as the model of skill, patience, and discipline, a reminder that true power can hide in silence, under layers of snow, waiting for the perfect breath to pull the trigger. Lyudmila Pavlichenko, Lady Death. When Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union in 1941, a 24-year-old history student from Kyiv traded textbooks for a Mosin Nagant rifle. Her name was Lyudmila Pavlichenko, and before the war ended, she became the most lethal female sniper ever recorded. In Odessa and later Sevastopol, she perfected the art of patience and precision, fighting through dust, fire, and fear. Within her first year, she had logged over 300 confirmed kills, including 36 enemy snipers. Her reputation spread through German lines as a whispered warning: if Lady Death was on your front, you didn't peek twice. Wounded but alive, she was pulled from combat in 1942 and sent on a goodwill tour to Canada and the United States. When an American reporter asked if she wore makeup to war, she snapped back, "There is no rule that a woman can't shoot." Eleanor Roosevelt befriended her, introducing her to a world astonished by her poise and steel. After the war, Pavlichenko finished her studies, became a historian, and eventually faded from public life. Yet her story endures, a reminder that strength isn't a question of size or gender, but of absolute focus when the world demands courage. The sniper who once hunted invaders became a symbol of equality carved in bulletproof calm. Carlos Hathcock, the White Feather. In the jungles of Vietnam, one Marine's legend grew with every shot fired and every man who failed to find him. Gunnery Sergeant Carlos Hathcock, nicknamed White Feather because of the small plume he wore on his boonie hat, became an invisible force of nature. Raised the hunter in Arkansas, Hathcock joined the U.S. Marine Corps, driven by discipline and quiet pride. With a scoped Winchester Model 70, he recorded 93 confirmed kills, though comrades believe the real count was well over 300. His most famous shot spanned 2,500 yards, striking an enemy through the scope of his rifle, a perfect singular alignment of patience and physics. The Viet Cong feared him so deeply they placed an $30,000 bounty on his head, calling him Long Trang, the White Feather Sniper. Every hunter sent after him became another ghost beneath the canopy. Severely burned while rescuing fellow Marines from a vehicle fire, Hathcock ended his career as an instructor, shaping the Marine Sniper School curriculum that still bears his imprint. He died in 1999, his name a permanent echo in Marine lore. Carlos Hathcock proved that mastery is not born of aggression, but of control. The stillness of a man who could wait an entire day for one heartbeat, one clear breath, one inevitable shot.
Vasily Zaitsev, the Hunter of Stalingrad. In 1942, the city of Stalingrad became a cratered maze of rubble, fire, and broken glass. And at its heart, a single shepherd-turned-sniper changed the rhythm of war. Vasily Zaitsev, born to a peasant family in the Ural foothills, arrived at the front armed with a standard Mosin Nagant rifle and the instincts of a hunter who had grown up shooting wolves on snowy ridges. From the shadows of blasted factories and toppled stairwells, Zaitsev picked off German officers and machine gunners. 225 confirmed kills in just over 2 months, though Soviet records suggest the total was far higher. His marksmanship and calm inspired his comrades and terrified the enemy. The Germans sent their own ace sniper, a supposed major of the Wehrmacht, to eliminate him. Zaitsev outweighted and killed him in a duel that became pure battlefield myth. Beyond his own trigger work, he created a sniper school amid the ruins, training dozens of men and women who went on to teach hundreds more, the true multiplier of his legacy. When the Red Army finally pushed the enemy from Stalingrad, Zaitsev had helped turn a dying city into a fortress of resistance. After the war, he quietly managed a factory, living an unremarkable civilian life until his death in 1991. Yet his story endures because it's more than numbers. It's about focus under annihilation. The man who saw chaos everywhere learned to see only the small, steady target that mattered. Chris Kyle, the American sniper. Decades later, on a different battlefield, a Texas-born SEAL carried that same cold precision into modern war. Chris Kyle, serving 4 tours in Iraq, became the most lethal sniper in U.S. military history, credited with 160 confirmed kills, though his teammates believe the number was higher. Armed mainly with a 300 Win Mag and a belief that his role was to protect American and Iraqi soldiers alike, Kyle's accuracy turned him into both hero and legend. Insurgents whispered his call sign, the Devil of Ramadi, posting bounties on his head. Marines on patrol felt safer simply knowing he was watching from above. Yet even as his legend grew, it carried a price. The clarity and discipline that made him peerless in combat couldn't easily translate to life at home. He left the Navy in 2009, writing a best-selling memoir and dedicating himself to helping veterans deal with trauma and transition. In 2013, that mission ended tragically when another troubled vet he was mentoring shot and killed him at a Texas range. His funeral drew thousands, the route lined with flags across his home state. Chris Kyle's legacy extends beyond marksmanship. It's about empathy forged in violence, service beyond battle, and the haunting truth that even a man who mastered the chaos of war can still be undone by its echoes.
Francis Pegamagabau, the silent Ojibwa sharpshooter. Before the world knew names like Zaitsev or Kyle, a quiet indigenous soldier from Canada had already broken every record of courage and precision in World War I. Francis Pegamagabau, an Ojibwa from Ontario's Perry Island, joined the Canadian Expeditionary Force in 1914, a volunteer in a country that gave his people few rights but demanded their service. At the front, he became a master sniper and scout, crawling between trenches under fire, laying traps, and picking targets unseen. Over 378 confirmed kills and 300 captured, he earned the Military Medal with 2 bars, an honor achieved by only 39 Canadians in the entire war. He fought at Ypres, the Somme, Passchendaele, battles that devoured hundreds of thousands. Pegamagabau survived them all, moving with the patience of the forests he grew up in. After returning home, he turned his discipline to a new fight: justice for Indigenous veterans.
Racism denied him the recognition he deserved in life, but his name now stands as a symbol of resilience, the man who defended a country that barely defended him.
Zhang Taofeng, the Iron-Eyed Rifleman. In the bitter chill of the Korean War, one young Chinese soldier rewrote what a human rifle could do. Zhang Taofeng served with the Chinese People's Volunteer Army in 1953. Armed with an iron-sighted Mosin Nagant, no optics, no technology, just raw instinct, he achieved 214 confirmed kills in only 32 days. Operating from frozen foxholes, he studied enemy movement, breathing through ice masks to hide vapor in the air. His fellow soldiers said he could sense distance as if the field itself whispered it to him. Each bullet was deliberate, each shot part of a rhythm learned through focus and repetition. When the war ended, Zhang returned to civilian life and largely disappeared from public attention, refusing interviews or accolades. In later years, military historians called him a legend of iron sight courage, the embodiment of patience under pressure. He left behind no memoir, only proof that skill isn't born from equipment, it's born from absolute control of self.
Rob Furlong, the 2,430-meter shot. Half a century later, another Canadian raised the standard of precision into the realm of the impossible. Corporal Rob Furlong, serving with Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry in Afghanistan, 2002, made a shot from 2,430 meters, the longest confirmed sniper kill in the world at the time. The target was an insurgent carrying an RPK machine gun on a ridge nearly 2.5 kilometers away. Accounting for wind, heat shimmer, and bullet drop over 3 seconds of flight time, Furlong fired one clean round from a Macmillan TAC-50 rifle. The bullet struck true. That single shot wasn't luck. It was teamwork, calculation, and raw nerve. He later credited the success to training and trust in his spotter, refusing to treat it like myth. After returning home, he trained new snipers before stepping away from the service. His record stood for years, inspiring a generation of marksmen. Rob Furlong's story captures the modern face of sniping, science meeting composure, technology meeting human instinct. It's a reminder that even in an era of drones and lasers, sometimes history turns on one man, one rifle, and one perfect calculation written in the desert air.
Adelbert F. Waldron, Vietnam's Shadow. In the thick jungles of Vietnam, where it was hard to see 20 meters ahead, a quiet U.S. Army marksman turned the dense green into his hunting ground. Adelbert F. Waldron, a U.S. Army sergeant in the 9th Infantry Division, began as a sailor before becoming the most effective sniper of the war. From a riverine patrol boat, he perfected shooting from unstable decks at moving targets through walls of foliage, skills that would make him legendary. Between late 1968 and early 1969, Waldron recorded 109 confirmed kills, often at ranges farther than his weapon should have allowed, including one extraordinary shot, a Viet Cong soldier standing on the rear of a moving sampan 900 yards away, dropped with a single bullet. Though decorated with 2 distinguished service crosses, Waldron avoided the publicity given to other snipers. He trained future marksmen, then lived quietly until his death in 1995. His name remains a benchmark in U.S. Army history, the man who fought a hidden war inside an already invisible war and won through nothing but patience, stillness, and perfect aim.
Tatiana Kosturina, the sniper of the Caucasus. Among the snow-capped ridges of the Caucasus Mountains in 1942, one Soviet woman turned the high passes into her own fortress. Tatiana Kosturina, born in 1920, enlisted after her older brothers were killed. Within months, she became one of the most efficient female snipers of the Red Army, credited with over 120 confirmed kills before she was 22. Fighting near Novorossiysk and Tuapse, she would crawl for hours through frozen rock, waiting for the right breath. During the advance on Crimea, she was reportedly credited with halting entire enemy assaults by targeting officers first. Her final battle came on November 28, 1943, shot while leading her platoon in hand-to-hand fighting after running out of ammunition. Posthumously awarded the Order of the Patriotic War, her courage joined the long list of women whose precision helped reverse Germany's advance. Tatiana's story reminds us that fearlessness doesn't always come from orders. It can come from loyalty, grief, and the steady hands of someone who refused to be the next casualty.
Jean-Marie Le Pinnic, the Corsican Ghost. In occupied France during World War II, records fade into secrecy, but intelligence files mention a resistant sharpshooter from Corsica known only as Jean-Marie Le Pinnic. Operating in 1943-44 around Vichy and Marseille, he specialized in eliminating Gestapo officers and railway guards who controlled supply lines. Le Pinnic's skill came from pre-war service as a hunter and competitive marksman. He adapted civilian rifles with improvised optics, executing dozens of hits across southern France without being captured. Locals said he vanished into mountain villages, appearing only to strike again. To the Germans, he was the ghost of Corsica. After the liberation in 1944, his trail goes quiet. Some reports say he joined the French Foreign Legion, others that he disappeared back to island life under an assumed name. Verified or not, his legend served the resistance well, proof that a single rifle in steady hands could paralyze an occupying force with fear. Whether man or myth, Jean-Marie Le Pinnic embodied the invisible courage that turned occupied Europe into a battlefield of shadows.
Chuck Mawhinney, the record keeper. Hidden deep in the rain-soaked mountains of Vietnam, Lance Corporal Chuck Mawhinney was the Marine no one talked about, but everyone owed. Serving with the 5th Marine Division, he quietly became the deadliest confirmed sniper in Marine Corps history, credited with 103 confirmed kills and over 200 probable, a record that went unrecognized for decades. Mawhinney's gift was steadiness, no bravado, no rush. In one engagement, he eliminated 16 enemy soldiers crossing a river in less than a minute, protecting his squad from a full assault. His spotter once said Chuck's breathing didn't change whether he was reading the wind or taking a life. After his tour, he came home, slipped back into Oregon's forests, and locked the memories away. His story only surfaced in the 1990s when former comrades revealed it. Even then, he shrugged at praise, saying only, "I was doing my job." His humility and precision turned him into the Marine's Marine, a quiet standard for all who followed.
Abdul Amir al-Mohammadawi, Juba, the Baghdad sniper. During the height of the Iraq War, a mysterious figure emerged from the chaos of Baghdad, filmed through grainy propaganda tapes showing US soldiers collapsing before anyone heard the shot. The world came to know him as Juba the sniper, but intelligence later suggested the man behind the legend was Abdul Amir al-Mohammadawi, a trained marksman who turned insurgency into psychological warfare. Operating mainly in 2005 to 2007, he targeted convoys and foot patrols with extraordinary precision. The videos, set to music, followed by Quranic verses, spread across the internet and Arabic television, turning Juba into both fear and myth. US forces hunted him endlessly. No proof of capture or death ever came. Most historians see Juba as partly real, partly constructed to inspire propaganda. For participants of that war, the name meant dread, one perfect stranger watching from behind a scope. Whether he was a single sniper or a collective myth, Juba demonstrated the modern weaponization of legend, where fear itself becomes the most accurate shot. Craig Harrison, the 2,475-meter marksman. In Afghanistan's Helmand province, 2009, a British Army corporal peered through a rifle scope and made history. Craig Harrison, a household cavalry sharpshooter, spotted Taliban machine gunners firing on Allied troops across a valley, 2,475 meters away. 2 consecutive shots from his L-115A3 rifle found both targets. The bullets took nearly 3 seconds each to reach their mark. Harrison's achievement wasn't luck, it was a masterclass in calculation. He measured wind at altitude, temperature, even the Earth's curvature over 2 miles of air. For that moment, man and machine existed at the edge of physics. Yet fame sat uneasily with him. After returning home, he battled PTSD and later wrote openly about the mental cost of such perfection. His story stands as both record and caution that behind every longest kill headline is a soldier who must live with the silence afterward. Craig Harrison's shot was extraordinary, but his honesty afterward made it human.
Mikhail Surkov, the invisible blade. In the vast blood-soaked front lines of World War II, Soviet records mention a marksman whose name blurred between fact and legend, Mikhail Surkov. According to wartime archives, he claimed 702 confirmed kills before vanishing into secrecy, a number so staggering that historians long debated if one man could truly achieve it. Surkov was born in Siberia, a hunter before he was a soldier, making his rifle an extension of instinct. Stationed on the Northwestern Front, he braved blizzards, starvation, and the endless mud of the Eastern Front. He worked alone, camouflaged under layers of snow-soaked branches, picking targets silently and moving before his position was ever suspected. Unlike celebrated icons like Zaitsev, Surkov never toured or spoke to press. His service record was filed away under counterintelligence protection. Even his photo remains uncertain. It's as if the Soviets deliberately built a myth around silence itself, an invisible protector haunting their enemies. After the war, he reportedly returned to the forests he grew up in, refusing medals or politics. Whether man or myth, Surkov became a symbol of anonymous precision, a shadow among shadows who proved that real power doesn't announce itself. It exhales quietly through one barrel, one trigger, one life at a time.